Hello guys, welcome to another video for the engineer. So today, the quick announcement, we are having SAP Basis and HANA Administration Training. So now we have revamped our curriculum. So as you can see, this is updated in February 2025. So I thought to give a brief on the topics what we are going to discuss. In case you have any questions, you can also reach out us. The number which is given in the screen, 8466880880. You can just WhatsApp or else you can also email us at this email ID contact@odiaengineer.com. You can also email on odiaengineerofficial@gmail.com. Okay, so now let's just proceed. Before that, another quick announcement. So we are our website is going to be live. We are revamping our website with a lot of features like loyalty points. Then you'll be having login options, LMS platform. We are integrating a lot of things there. So be ready to get the next level experience. We are planning to launch end of February or maybe mid-March. So then you can get the benefit of it. And the website is amazing because we have upskilled the resources. We are taking in high-end domain server, and also we are upscaling our infrastructure of the website. So which it's going to give a really good experience. So now let's focus on the topics what we are going to discuss. In the session one, I generally focus on the basics of Linux. So I gave an exercise also at the end of the session, and primarily the focus is to make you aware of your basis related commands, which is specific to your file system, network, process, mount point, unmounting. Then you need to check your, like all this OS specific, like you want to check your OS users, you want to check your host name, FQDN. So all this, and also your permanent mounting the file systems, all these things we're going to discuss here. And every session, end of the session, will be having an exercise. So that's how we plan the session, and this will make it more interactive. Session two, we are just going to discuss on the installation topic. And in this installation, we're just going to discuss on the product availability matrix, how going to use it. Then we'll discussing on the file system provisioning, IP provisioning, DNS mapping, then all the OS setting parameters which are required. And then we'll discuss on the sizing concept, memory, CPU, storage calculation, and all. Then we'll discuss on installation media, SWPM uses, also the software logistic toolsets, which are SL2, CELSA, which are available for the installation. And then we'll discuss about the sequence of installation and the post installation. In this installation, we are discussing about ECS installation on multiple database, also solution manager installation. These are the two things which you're going to practice in the server, because we are going to offer you the server with root access. Session 3, we are going to discuss on the various way of deploying the SAPs, then concept of your primary application server, additional application server, message server, and these uses. So it's more into architectural deep dive, not just the basic thing. Next, you are going to discuss on the dispatcher and all these areas. Then we'll be discussing about the work process management, then a little bit on how you're going to stop and start the system and how you're going to monitor your dispatcher, even your GUI is not accessible. And also we'll discussing about your important SAP logs and how to read those logs, how to understand it. All these things we're going to discuss. Every session, at the end of the session, we are going to have an exercise. So in that exercise, we're just going to discuss about, I'll give you some other tasks to complete, and before the next session, you need to complete the exercise. Next is session 5. Session 5 talks about your background work process and also background job administration. So in the background jobs, we'll discuss about how you're going to schedule the jobs, how you're going to suspend the jobs, how you're going to create the variant, and how you understand the job logs, and what happens your SAP file system is full because of the job logs, how to get rid of those situation. Also, we're going to understand the standard jobs and the customized jobs which are using your G programs and all. And then we'll discussing about your job failure issues, like due to long running job issues or due to memory, or the job is canceling because of whatsoever reason. We are going to discuss about that. And there are some exercise also at the end of the session. So this is the entire curriculum. Session 6 is more about the kernel upgrade. So in the kernel upgrade, we are going to discuss on multiple things. First thing, we are going to discuss the kernel upgrade in a multiple scenarios in Linux. Also, I'll give a brief on AIX in Windows. And also we are going to discuss about the kernel compatibility on OS and database. Then we'll discuss on the file download, how you're going to download the file and how you're going to update the kernel. And what's the usage of SAP root.shsid, the script, and what exactly it does. And during the kernel upgrade, need to take some prerequisites. So what are the prerequisites I'm going to tell you. Also, later part, we're going to discuss about the kernel upgrade for Java system and also the web dispatcher. Apart from that, we are having the SAP CPE program, uses of SAP CPE, and also important issues for kernel upgrade and how we will troubleshoot it. And we'll give some exercise also for the kernel upgrades. We are going to perform it for web dispatcher and also for the ABAP systems. Then the spool administration. Again, spool administration contains your printers and different things, and how you're going to set up your printing methods, and what are the printing methods you're going to use for which and how you're going to set up your print server, how you're going to do the test print, how you're going to check your themes storage, how you're going to do the themes cleanup, spool cleanup, and how you're going to run the spool reorg jobs and other things we are going to discuss. Also, very important thing is spool overflow. Because of spool overflow, your system goes down. So how to deal with it and what are the necessary action to take for the spool overflow. These are just the basic highlights you can see here, but we'll deep dive in each of the topic. And also when you're storing your spools, so where actually you're going to store and why, whether it's in a file system, whether it's a database, so which is a good option. So we all these things we're going to discuss as well. And at the end of the session, there would be an exercise, so which you can see in the screen. Next, the client administration. So client administration is really important. So we'll discuss about how to create the client and how to create the logical system. Then we'll discuss about the client copy preparations like local, remote, and export import based client copy. Also, I'll tell you on how the S4HANA client copies are different than the previous ACC client copies, like when you used to use the old client copy tools. And there are a lot of differences, so which we're going to highlight. Then we'll discuss on client comparison, client size determination, then deletion of client. And client copy has a lot of things to troubleshoot. So those things I'm going to discuss. And then at the end of the session, I'm going to give you some exercise to do the client copy. I'll give you some profile, or based on that you need to perform. So next is the transport management. So understand HTMS concept. And then we'll discuss about the HTMS structure, how the files are going to be used in the HTMS, what are the important folders, what you see in the HTMS mount point, and also what's the function of global transport directory, local transport directory, all these things we're going to discuss. Then we'll discuss about how to set up your STMS in 3-tier, then 2-tier system, and also in a complex environment where you're going to create multiple development system, multiple quality systems. So how you're going to deal with that. Also how to add a system in the domain controller, how to remove a system, and how to set up your STMS route for complex configurations also. Then later on, we'll discuss on how to create your TOC, how to create a workbench request, all these things we're going to discuss. And in this session also, we're going to set up your STMS underscore QA approval process. How you're going to use the OS level to transport the, import the transport request, and important issues for long running transport. And also some cases the transport may fail or the transport cause issues in your system, how to deal with those situations we're going to discuss. Section 10 is more into a mail configuration. So we'll be discussing about how the SMTP concept works, important SMTP parameters, and how you're going to set up those SMTP parameters. Then we'll be setting up a SMTP in the squad, and we are going to use multiple domains and also single domain. And then we'll be using the SAP Connect job. I'll tell you how to schedule those jobs. And in case you're having some issues, we'll be doing the testing for SMTP connection. And we'll also see what are the necessary errors, what you see in SOST, and how to troubleshoot those areas. And the next thing is known issues for SMTP, how to re-register the services. And in case of any issues related to your mail configuration, other things, how to identify that. And there will be an exercise at the end of the session where we are going to discuss about how to configure your SMTP in SAP application, and also how to schedule a test mail, because a lot of people, they don't know how to schedule a test mail also. But this will be completely hands-on, and I'll be showing you each and everything in the system itself. Next thing is the system refresh, very, very important. So system refresh, we are going to first discuss about a comparison, then system refresh, system copy. Then we'll be discussing the refresh, pre-checks, also the readiness, and then we are going to do the database store recovery for Oracle, MaxDB, and HANA. Then we'll discuss about the database post-processing steps, and then SAP post-processing. Important thing is BDLS, because that's the most long-running step in a refresh, and how to do that. We'll discuss about it. And we'll discuss about issues related to system refresh. And also, I'll tell you how to export your import your tables before the refresh. And also, when you create a transport of copies for your RFC or user master, how you're going to do that, I'll guide you on that. So refresh is generally for 3 sessions. So though I covered in single session, but it requires a lot of effort. So 3 sessions will be there. Next is support pack upgrade. So this support pack upgrade we are going to do with the Spam and Saint. So we are going to use a support pack application manager and Saint. So for the add-on installation, so how you're going to do that, how to plan it, how to check your dependency, everything will be covered here. And this is again a very important thing. And during the upgrade also, you must be facing some issues. So how to troubleshoot those errors, how to check the logs, what are the common errors and how to get rid of that, and what are the best practices you need to follow, and how to roll back your upgrade. So all these things we'll be discussing. End of the day, I'm giving an exercise so that you can also get a chance to practice. Next, SAP upgrade using some. This is one of the major things to know how to plan an upgrade, how to check your dependencies, how to generate stack XML, how to use parallel processes, and how to calculate those numbers. And what are the important issues specific to launching of some tool, and all these things we're going to discuss. Then how to deal with your SPDD, SPAU phases. So all these things I'm going to discuss as well, and important processes of SAP upgrade. So if you're doing an SAP SPS upgrade, or you are doing EHP upgrade, or you are doing S4HANA upgrade. So what are the important phases you are going to see? What are the downtime technologies what we have right now? And how are you going to select the right downtime technology so that your downtime can be minimized? All these things we are going to discuss. And in this session, we're also discussing about how to roll back the sum during the upgrade. That's very, very important in terms of interview and also the real time. Session 14 talks about your Java administration. We are going to do installation, planning, file system provisioning, everything for the Java system. Then we'll be calculating the Java nodes. I'll give you the numbers, I'll give you the calculations, and also I'll tell you how to change the Java system parameters, then how to restart your single node. Important thing is 99% of people are not aware of Java systems because very less people get a chance. So when you get a chance to work on Java systems, so how to troubleshoot the Java issues, how to collect your thread dumps, how to analyze the thread dumps, line wise line, I'm going to teach you on in this session. Then if you want to upgrade SAP Java system using some, you want to upgrade your Java system single components using your tailnet, all these things we are going to perform as well. End of the session, there would be an exercise for the people who are part of the training. You're going to install and then you're going to upgrade your Java system. Session 15 is more about SAP traces. As you know, there are multiple traces in SAP. So how to use it, how to activate it, and what are the important considerations you need to make before you go for the trace collection. It's not like you can activate the trace and your file system is full. That doesn't make any sense. So that's the reason you need to always know the location of the trace, how to collect it, and how to analyze. So these are the traces. There are multiple traces like message server trace, dispatcher trace, gateway trace. We're going to discuss everything. Then SAP troubleshooting, I'll give you the lot of issues related to troubleshooting, how to deal with those situations in normal upgrade environment or any SAP system you're running, how to deal with the system slowness. I'm going to discuss about it. So there are a lot of issues. I just put few issues here, but it contains 100 of issues. Then you are having your HANA administration. So under HANA administration, we're going to discuss on HANA installation, sizing. And guys, remember, whenever you are joining for our training, we'll also discuss about SAP workload and SAP memory management, which is really, really important. So that's the reason that is also included, because that's one of the important topic every basis consultant should learn. No matter you are working on Rise, no matter you're working on Grow, you are working on premises, memory management and workload administration remains constant. Next is the HANA administration. So here three things. We'll first focus on installation and sizing, then administration, then troubleshooting. So HANA high level architecture will discuss on the port allocation, then global allocation limit, other memory related things, license administration, and I'll discuss some numeric questions, and also I'll give you some questions on port assignments and the GL calculation. Next is the installation. Before you go with the installation, what are the OS parameter required, network parameter, readiness of infrastructure for HANA installation, how to calculate your hypervisor memory. All these things we're going to discuss here. Then we'll discuss about the compatibility metrics, and then we are going to do the sizing. So before you go with the sizing, before you go with the installation into the sizing, how to do the sizing and all, I'll give you the exact numbers, exact formula so that you can use it in your real time. Also, we'll be going to install the HANA and we'll be automate the HANA installation using the batch the config file. Also, we are going to understand the resident SDB LCM. The same session, we are going to perform the HANA revision upgrade, also the pre-task and the post-task and the necessary post checks and you need to do for revision upgrade, and important issues for installation and upgrade we are going to discuss here. Next is the HANA cockpit. So there are various ways of deploying the HANA cockpit. So how are you going to deploy the cockpit and what are the scenarios? And cost optimize, performance optimize, how are you going to do that? Next is the HANA cockpit installation and upgrade, how to do the install and how to configure. And also we are going to do the user administration for the cockpit. So how to create a user so that you can maintain other users and who can log into a cockpit to do their regular task. And then monitoring a HANA cockpit from the OS level. So that's all. And also we are going to discuss about how to uninstall your cockpit database if you're installing cockpit as a shared database, because that process is not straightforward. You need to know a lot of things before you decom your HANA cockpit, which is installed as a shared database. In the exercise, we are going to discuss about the HANA installation with the shared DB deployment. And also we are going to create an admin user equivalent to your cockpit underscore admin. Session 4 talks about your roles and user assignment. So how to create the users, how to assign the privilege, what are the analytical privilege, package privilege, system privilege. So all these privileges we are going to discuss, and also important roles and how to do the role assignment using HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit, and also using the OS level. In case you want to create a user group management, you want to maintain the user group. Also, I'll tell you how to do that. And later part, we are going to discuss about the system user password reset, which is again an important activity that requires downtime, of course. Session 5 talks about a cloud HANA client installation and upgrade, HANA client setup. In HANA client, generally we are using STP user store, how to use STP user store, how to use it, get a default entries, how to delete an entry, how to update an entry, all these things we're going to discuss. Session 6 would talk about your backup strategy. So backup strategy is HANA is having, we'll discuss about a little bit on persistence, then set point. We'll discuss about data volume, log volume, and how to manage your redo log. And we'll understand the backup lifecycle. So the primary discussion would be based on your complete database backup and the Delta backup. Also, we'll discuss a little bit on the log backups and the snapshot. I'll show you how to trigger the snapshot, how to use the snapshot in a recovery medium. Then we'll be familiar with the backup consistency check, recoverability check, and we'll do the differentiation between backup and snapshot. Later part, we are going to discuss on multi-streaming backup. We're going to use multi-streaming backup in HANA database. Then an important thing is backup logs and the location. And in case we're having a long-running backup issues, we'll be discussing about it. So in this session, we're also going to use HANA Cockpit, HANA Studio, and HANA SDB SQL to run the queries, which is interactive terminal. Session 7 talks about your restore recovery. So when you're going to use the backup in a real time, how you're going to copy the data from your source to target, and how to use the multiple tools like SDB backup diag, SDB recover check, SDB backup check in the target database, in the source database before you copy the backup to the target. And then we're going to use the recovery using the complete database backup where no backup catalog is required. And point in time recovery in HANA database where actually you need the backup catalog, and also you want to recover the database to the most recent state. You also need the backup catalog. Then we'll discuss about the how to use the recovery using the data snapshots. And we'll be going to again use the same thing like HANA SDB SQL, Cockpit, and Studio. Also, interesting thing we're going to use is recover system PY script. So that program we're going to use to recover your system database. Then how are you going to use it? Exercising, we are going to exercise a point in time recovery process. Then we are going to, the task will be given to you so that you can show me what are the important logs or what are the logs you used in a recovery cycle. I need to see that in your screen and to see that in the backup.log file. Then session 8 talks about replication. So replication, primarily we're going to discuss a scale-up scenario. So how to set up your prerequisite and how to set up your replication mode, operation mode. We'll also discuss about multi-target and multi-tier. So in multi-target, what happens, in multi-tier, what happens, and how you're going to change the replication mode. What are the modes which are compatible? What are the replication modes which are compatible? And what is full sync mode? We're also going to deep dive into that. Later part, we're going to discuss about takeover, failover, failback, secondary time travel, invisible takeover, takeover with handshake. All these options we are going to discuss, and HANA replication issues and troubleshooting. And there are some scenario based questions in replication. I'll give you those questions, and also I'll tell you how to deal with those scenarios. Session 9 talks about your delta merge. So delta merge is generally how to do the delta merge, why it is required, and what's the delta merge in HANA, then how to do the cost functions or merge motivations, how to do the merge process, cost function, merge token, all these things we're going to discuss it. And also we are going to discuss about merge doc process, then how to trigger delta merge manually, how to delta merge specific parameters, and also I'll tell you each and every calculation. This session is very, very important. The memory consideration for delta merge and troubleshooting the delta merge issues. So I'll tell you, give some exercise. I'll give you some exercise first with the hard merge. Then I'll ask you to list out the tables with larger delta area so that you can consider those tables for delta merge. Session 10 talks about table partitioning, so single level, multi-level. We're going to discuss hash, range, and round robin, how to approach it, and single level and multi-level, for which table, which partition should be there. I'll give you straight away recommendations. You can use it in your real time. And then if I want to repartition the table, how to unpartition, how to merge the partitions, and then I will go with the repartitioning and all. And how to deal with these scenarios in a real-time production environment, I'll guide you. It's an again hands-on session. I'll show you each and everything in the system. Session 11 talks about your full system dump, RTE dumps, and how to analyze the dumps. So then we'll discuss about HANA Cleaner setup, then HANA file system housekeeping, how to do that manually, then how to purge your backup catalog because backup catalog size grows. Then there's an impact to your database as well. How to monitor your disk, memory, CPU, all these things. Then we'll discuss about HANA backup status check and how to deal with your long running backups. So this would be again a troubleshooting session. Session 12 would be HANA high memory, high CPU utilization issues. It is HANA mini check, how to use your HANA SQL scripts. I'll tell you that, and then we'll discuss about HANA log volume full, data volume full issues, long running backup, backup cancellation, block transactions, long running SQL statements, expensive statements, all these things we're going to discuss here. Session 13 will talk about your workload management and admission control. This is the topic which you recently added, like your SQL limits and also how to set up your workload and how to restrict your usage of memory and CPU and how to do that and how to apply your NUMA settings. All these things we're going to discuss. Then how to manage your admission control, how to manage peak load, configure the admission control and setting user parameters for workload. This is really, really important. This is high level and we've revised the content. That's the reason. So if you're interested, you can join our training. That's all for SAP Basis and HANA. So the highlight of the topic is SAP installation, upgrade, refresh, and three database, memory management, workload administration, troubleshooting, high level. Then in HANA side also HANA installation, sizing, cockpit installation, configuration, backup recovery using all the three tools. So all our training, we are going to use HANA Studio, HANA Cockpit, and HDB SQL, all the three tools. You decide which you like, and you can also use whichever the tool you want. And then later part, we're going to discuss some replication. We'll do failover, takeover, all the things we're going to perform here. Then delta merge, table partitioning. Important thing is HANA troubleshooting. I'll be giving you a lot of cases, a lot of real-time situations where you will be more familiar and use those knowledge in your real-time field. You will be really successful. So in case you're looking for basis and HANA training, in this training, we are dividing the entire schedule into 2.5 months, and we are trying to complete the course close to 34 to 36 sessions max to max, but it can be less than that. And during that duration, 3 months, you are getting server access with root privilege. You can do installation, upgrade, anything you can practice, no restriction at all. So that's all. So if you're interested, please connect with my team and enroll for the training. And if you need any help, I'm there to help you out, provided you learn it right and apply the right knowledge. And this is high time for you to upskill and also apply the knowledge what you learn from us. So thanks for watching. Hope you like the video. If you like it, do subscribe and share it to your friend who are looking for basis training, HANA training, who wants to, like level up with their HANA skill. So please refer them as well. So thanks once again. Have a great day.